You can't tow my car, you lunatic! This is public property! Linda screamed, her voice piercing the quiet cul-de-sac as two men in navy uniforms hooked her gleaming SUV to a tow truck. Her face was a mask of fury, arms flailing as neighbors peeked from windows, some filming the chaos. One of the tow operators pointed to a sign at the driveway's edge. Authorized vehicles only. Leased commercial property. Do not block. Linda ignored it, charging toward a police cruiser that had just arrived, demanding arrests. I stepped forward, holding a lease agreement with an armored truck company's logo in bold. With a calm smile, I said, I own this driveway. For the first time in weeks, Linda fell silent. Let's rewind to how this all began. A week earlier, I'd finished repaving my private driveway after months of planning and permits. The smooth asphalt was a dream, erasing years of potholes. I celebrated with a small barbecue, relieved to have my property back in order. My neighborhood was peaceful, tucked at the end of a cul-de-sac, except for one problem: Linda. Mid-50s, with a permanent scowl and an air of self-proclaimed authority, she was the queen of petty disputes, from petitioning against barking dogs to measuring neighbors' lawns with a ruler. I'd avoided her until the morning after my driveway was done. That Saturday, I opened my door to find Linda's SUV, a white monstrosity with a sparkly Queen decal, parked diagonally across my fresh pavement. Stunned, I marched to her house. She answered in a satin robe, sipping a green smoothie, and before I could speak, she waved me off. It's public access. You're lucky I let you pave it. The door slammed in my face. I stood there, baffled. My deed clearly stated the driveway was mine. I'd paid for the paving and cleared it with the city. This wasn't HOA property. Thinking she was confused, I slipped a land survey and a note under her door. Driveway is privately owned, not public. The next day, the survey was taped to my door with "wrong" scrawled in red marker. This wasn't a misunderstanding, it was defiance. Over the next few days, Linda escalated. Her SUV reappeared, then her landscaper's truck blocked my driveway for hours. One evening, I found her yoga class stretching in front of my garage. When I honked to get through, a participant said Linda called it a community space. I installed a private property, no parking sign. It vanished overnight. Frustrated, I contacted the HOA, but they claimed property disputes were outside their jurisdiction. Linda strutted around, acting victorious. Neighbors suggested towing, but I hesitated, until the peanut butter incident. I'd installed a security camera, and 2 days later, footage showed Linda, at midnight, smearing peanut butter on the lens with a spatula, perched on a stool like a deranged saboteur. That was it. Over coffee, I vented to my friend Mark, who worked for an armored truck company. He laughed and half-joked. Lease it to us. We need suburban transfer points. We locked eyes, and within a week, the deal was done. My driveway became leased commercial property, complete with city permits and a new sign. The first armored truck rolled in, a hulking black vehicle with armed guards placing orange cones. Linda stormed out, demanding answers. A guard pointed to the sign. Lease property, ma'am. Don't obstruct. She exploded, ranting about property rights and neighborhood sanctity. I watched from my window, sipping coffee, savoring the moment. Her SUV kept blocking the trucks, despite warnings. Finally, we called a tow company. The scene was glorious. Linda's meltdown, the police confirming my lease, her face redder than a stoplight. But Linda wasn't done. She launched a vendetta, sending a gold-embossed HOA letter accusing me of unauthorized commercial activity. It was laughable. The HOA had no power over my property, and the city had approved everything. She rallied 3 HOA board members and 2 neighbors to confront me, but they backed off when I suggested they check with the city. Linda's next move was digital warfare. She created a Facebook page, Suburban Safety League, posting dramatic rants about surveillance trucks ruining the neighborhood. Her videos, with black and white filters and ominous music, became internet comedy gold. Memes spread, one looped her screaming, "This is illegal!" to techno beats. A local news segment, entitled Neighbors Gone Wild, featured her, and she framed the screenshot like a trophy. Her antics escalated. She stood in front of a truck, arms outstretched, blocking it like a protester. The guards called me, and the police escorted her off my property. My neighbors started a group chat. Driveway drama, sharing clips of her tantrums. One went viral on TikTok, remixed with dance music. But then, a twist. I learned Linda had faked HOA meeting notes, claiming the board unanimously declared my driveway public. It was illegal. A board member, Ellen, apologized and exposed her scheme. 3 members resigned, and the HOA began to crumble. Linda's final act was her downfall. One night, my camera caught her sneaking onto my driveway, dressed in black, trying to slash a truck's tire with a nail. The tire held, she slipped and fell. The truck's alarm blared, and a guard tackled her. Police arrested her for attempted property damage, trespassing, and interfering with a federal asset transfer contract. Her face, pale and silent in the cruiser, marked the end of her reign. Linda was released on bail but kept fighting. She emailed me, claiming the arrest ruined her life and begging for a court letter stating she wasn't a threat. I agreed not to press further charges but wrote, "I hope you've learned the difference between private property and public entitlement." Her house went up for sale, and she moved away. The HOA dissolved, and peace returned. My driveway, now fitted with an automatic gate and sensors, became the most secure pavement in the county. The story exploded online. YouTubers and podcasters wanted my footage. A kid biked by wearing a "Not today, Linda" shirt. I leased the driveway to a tech firm for autonomous delivery pods, a quiet, lucrative deal. Linda's house sold to a family with twin boys and a noisy dog. A neighbor gifted me a sign, "Linda's Lane," with a cartoon of her SUV versus an armored truck. We laughed and mounted it by my mailbox. Was I too harsh, turning my driveway into a battleground? Or was Linda's entitlement a fire that needed extinguishing? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you faced a neighbor like Linda? Was my prank with the armored trucks justice or overkill? Let's debate. Your take could spark the next viral thread